Oh, what's it? Andy No. Andy No.
Is that his name? Andy No? Is that he?
I didn't even know who he was until people were talking. I had no.
All
I
knew is he's the right-leaning. He's just a right-leaning snowflake of sorts. And people kept retweeting him into my bloody timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently he got punched and violently attacked by Antifa.
Oh,
and
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he posted pictures of himself saying, "I'm in ER," with Jussie Smollett style scars.
Yeah, but why would people not keep him in? They would not keep him in an emergency room for that. What the fuck is that about?
Well, they would. I mean, he's got punched. You got to check. If somebody walks in and they can clearly been punched, they have to check him for concussions. But that's not the question. Here's the question. Everything that I've seen starts with the fucking second dude runs up to hit him in the face. He's surrounded in some kind of march or something with a bunch of Antifa guys. He's the only one in the middle of them who's not Antifa. And if you know this guy, you know he's rabid right wing. So my question is this: how come all the fucking videos we see that were filmed by his people and released by his people, how come all the videos that I've seen start at the very second the guy runs up to throw the punch? If I'm going to see something like that and sympathize with somebody or empathize with somebody, I want to see the 60 seconds before any fucking punches are thrown. Good point. What he was doing, what he was saying, why he was there. I want to see the whole progression up to the punch being thrown. If I don't see that, someone's trying to manipulate me. That's just the way I feel.
I have not seen the footage, that's the case as well. Because that guy, Andy No, I believe, he's known for doing some other, doxing, trying to gather information on people or something. I don't know. So, it's all new to me. What do you think, Abdul?
To be honest, I just think the whole thing has illegitimate motives, to be honest with you. Especially with him claiming to be violently attacked, when obviously that wasn't the case. And apparently, there's been reports saying that he had evidence to support his claims, but I've not seen anything of such. Well, he's punched. You can see he's punched. But he's punched doesn't mean that he didn't do so, that he threw a punch before that. Exactly. There must have been something else that literally led to the situation. Right. So if somebody shows me a video where something's going on and some guy's walking along and some dude runs up and punches him, that's different. If somebody shows me a video where it's going to start with the guy taking a swing, I want to see what happened leading up to it. Now, I'm not saying he did something, but he clearly got punched, and they clearly threw shit at him and hit him with eggs and hit him with shit. Now, that's stupid. That's abhorrent behavior, first of all. But why is he in the middle of a crowd to start with, by himself? Yeah. And why is someone filming it, apparently who's with him, letting him be in the middle of the crowd, surrounded by all these asswipes? That's my only point. If he can answer those questions for me, then that's fine. But up until then, it's suspect to me what he is doing. It's immediately suspect when I saw that. That's the only conclusion I can come up with, because clearly it's done to provoke left and right divide, or at least exacerbate that divide. But let's be more specific. It's doing the exact same thing. I've seen several tweets now where people talk about, and they retweet this thing called the origins of Antifa. And do you know what they are? Go on. Evil Russians. Evil Russians. In 1923, the Communist Party in Russia and the Soviet Union created this far left-wing thing called Antifa. Isn't it funny? At the same fucking time we're being told to hate fucking Russians by the left, now all of a sudden the right also is being told they have a reason to hate the Russians. Because the Russians are the core of Antifa.
Well, and people still believe Russia is communist. Like, you try to point out the realities of Russia today, and they just still push this, the red baiting is what you call it, this McCarthyist scaremongering. It's just ridiculous.
But it's the same thing. I mean, the left is being told, and like I said, I wrote years ago, the real left is going to be fucking demonized by both left and the right. And the left has been doing it because they stole the election. Jimmy Carter saying they stole the election. The damn commies, the right wing, the Russians, the now the same thing's being pushed on the right. Isn't it also odd that the same fucking time, at the same, one's in Portland with the right-wing guy, and one's down in fucking, I covered that today with, what's his face, Jordan Cherry, pushing his fucking finger on that big dude, that big Trump guy.
Yeah.
While doing an interview, basically calling him ignorant, putting his finger on him several times on his chest, like he was trying to see if he could get that guy to hit him.
Yeah.
Now, here's a guy on the right doing it, I believe, until I see the video showing him innocently getting hit after doing nothing. I'm going to believe that. But the same thing happens with Jordan Sheridan. Jordan Sheridan was clearly trying to, if I could provoke some kind of reaction from that guy, probably a physical reaction. Because you don't put your finger on somebody like that when doing interviews.
Yeah.
You're fucking touching them. You don't do that.
A woman can get away with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch you. And they would say, please do.
Wasn't there a thing where a woman put her hand or touched Alex Jones? Jones went off on her or some shit back? Was it years ago? I think it was years ago. And he was chasing her like through a thing, and she was like, "Oh my god!" But she had said something, put her hands on him. He's like, "What?" Being Alex Jones, he went off on her, was chasing her. I think it was in Austin, someplace or something. It was like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Oh my god!
You can't touch Alex Jones. I don't care if you're a woman or not. He'll still fuck you.
But Alex Jones can touch Marco Rubio.
Did he touch? I don't think he touched him in the interview.
No, but he's like Marco Rubio's like, don't touch me.
That's right. You're right. Right. And there was that one where I pointed that video and I pointed out that dude standing there, the security guy standing there.
Yeah.
He wanted to kill Jones so fucking bad. You could see.
He was ready for a fight.
There wouldn't be no fight. That guy, you could tell just looking at that guy.
Obviously, but yeah.
You could tell looking at that guy. I wouldn't fuck with him. You could tell just looking at him.
No, especially when you're outnumbered.
But just him and me, I would be outnumbered.
Yeah.
that guy looked like he was. What's that movie where who's the black actor? Really good black actor. He does this. Not the Equalizer. It is the Equalizer. Some shit like that.
Denzel Washington.
All of a sudden it goes, huh?
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Denzel Washington. And everything goes quiet and everything freezes for a second, and he sets his clock and he's thinking about how long it'll take, and he plans the whole thing.
Yeah.
Out, right. Plans out killing all 16 people in the room.
Yeah, he drilled someone in the head with a drill.
Yeah. So that's what that dude was doing. He was looking him up and you can see he was just figuring out how this fat motherfucker was going to die in the next 30 seconds. I find that whole thing with Andy Ngo highly suspect.
Yeah.
Well, all of those incidents, they're sort of orchestrated, staged, and people get really distracted and go, "Oh, look, it's the culture wars." I don't know. It's this divide, an artificial divide.
That's what it is, to be honest. Because I can't say any other way than that. And then, like Scott said, the real left will get demonized because of that.
The far left. The far left.
Now, or you could get mistakenly called alt-right by the likes of Sarah Perez from TechCrunch.
Yeah, I guess if the fake corporate left is the far left, then that pushes us further to the left, so that we're on the right.
That just makes us into extremists.
Yeah.
And now they're talking about, these people, free market people, and all these guys and these anarchists are calling on the governor of fucking Oregon or some shit to crack down on Antifa because they're extremists. This is some pure fucking George Soros shit going on right now. I don't want to say that Antifa's paid by these guys, but I bet they're getting paychecks from somebody.
Yeah. All of these events, there are definitely paid assets. And it's not that there aren't people who are genuine protesters involved too, but they get lumped in all together in this whole psyop, I guess.
Yeah.
That's like what happened with Charlottesville, the Unite the Right rally. There were a bunch bunch of those guys who were paid to be there, and they were connected to the FBI, but there were also a lot of people who were just there to protest taking down a statue of Robert E. Lee.
Yeah.
Because since they were there protesting taking down a statue of Robert E. Lee, they're all called racists and white supremacists, because the 200 people who were there to protest against taking down a statue, well, they're better to call them fucking white supremacists because they've only got 8 people who are actually wearing Nazi fucking paraphernalia, or, with a KKK fucking hood on or some shit. But those guys are out there getting a paycheck.
So people don't understand that in all of these events where they're paid assets, they're actually people who generally protesting and they don't realize what's going on.
Right.
And it's the same thing like in Hong Kong, what I've talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that shit's got worse in Hong Kong.
It has.
Paying attention to that?
Yeah. I keep watching it, and actually there's a new viewer of mine who liked the video I did about Hong Kong, and he's from Hong Kong, and he lives in Vancouver, near me.
Nice.
Yeah, and
that's pretty nice.
and he was, I know, he doesn't know all the background that I would talk about, but he's just noticed as an ordinary person that there's something wrong here. He noticed that the protesters, the majority are very young, like early teens to early 20s, very young, and they don't really know what's going on, and they just see this protest and they think it's for democracy or whatever, and they don't know.
But no, it's getting worse. I mean, they're like blocking fucking access to government buildings. They're throwing fucking shit. Trying to keep cops from going into the police department or leaving the police department. These guys are turning once again, heavy-duty Soros smelling shit right there.
And it's escalating. It was just sort of a protest against this extradition law, and they are definitely trying to destabilize things. And what their goal is a truly separate Hong Kong from China. Yeah.
Which is what Britain wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
It's what serves our fucking national interests,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to take Hong Kong back from mainland China.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
And they want to make sure that the Hong Kong government doesn't cozy up any closer to China, because a lot of our NGO guys, a lot of our destabilization guys from inside China, who are wanted by the Chinese government, have fled to Hong Kong. They're in Hong Kong actually now. What gets me, it's so weird. The whole thing comes down to that case where the guy and his wife correct me if I'm wrong, left Hong Kong and went to Taiwan for a vacation. He ends up taking her out of the hotel in a fucking suitcase. She was pregnant.
Yeah.
He killed her in Taiwan, went back to Hong Kong, and they want him in Taiwan.
Yes.
But he's from Hong Kong. He killed his wife, who lived in Hong Kong. They're both Hong Kong citizens, so why does Taiwan want him?
That's a good question.
She was killed in Taiwan.
But she's a citizen of Hong Kong. Yes, I understand that the crime was committed there.
Yeah.
From what I know, they've got evidence to support that, aside from just a video of a very heavy suitcase being dragged out of the fucking they didn't enter with. So but wouldn't, if it was a Hong Kong citizen hiding in Taiwan, you would expect the extradition to go the other way.
Yeah.
But why are they trying to extradite a citizen of another country? Because they committed a crime in that country? Is that the way it works? If I commit a crime against another U.S. citizen,
usually two countries would get involved, and the person that actually committed the crime would go back to his or her home country. So yeah, even I'm a bit baffled by that. Except the only thing I could think of that does add some legit reason is the fact that the crime was committed there. But other than that, I can't see anything else to support the legitimacy of the investigation of the crime in Taiwan.
Yeah, I guess it could center on the fact that they need him for the investigation, and then once they decide he did it, then it would be up to Hong Kong to extradite him to face charges back in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that they would put him on trial in Hong Kong for murdering his wife in Taiwan.
But they certainly can't let him get away with it in Hong Kong, can they?
Well,
killed her in Taiwan. Oh, well, go ahead. That's cool.
No, this is the problem in Hong Kong, and the Chinese government, the People's Republic of China, has a problem with criminals hiding out using Hong Kong as a safe haven.
Sure, yeah.
There are a lot of corrupt businessmen that hide out in Hong Kong, and I have to tell you, there's a lot of corrupt businessmen who are shifting their money because they're worried about this extradition bill. They are taking out huge amounts of money, bringing them to Canada because Canada has very lax financial regulations.
Yeah, that's what I've read as well.
There's a lot of big money laundering in Canada, and a lot of it's from these corrupt businessmen that hide out in Hong Kong, and others shifting their money here.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But what I'm saying is the crime for those people is those corrupt businessmen are committing a crime against Chinese people or in China, against Chinese people, and they're Chinese victims, and they're hiding out in Hong Kong and then running to Canada. So I get all that.
Yeah.
This crime was against a Hong Kong citizen, and not anything done to people of Taiwan, except for maybe the cleaning lady who had to come in and clean the mess up. But aside from that, there is no victim in Taiwan.
No.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, but the crime was committed in Taiwan.
So that's the only legitimate aspect of it. And any witnesses there, but other than that, I can't see anything else to actually, support the fact that.
I don't know if the wife. I don't know all the details.
To be honest with you.
The wife might have been from Taiwan. Who knows? I don't know.
She's a Hong Kong citizen.
Okay.
But was she born and bred in Hong Kong?
What's that? Taiwan, and that's where the jurisdiction would.
At the core of this, though, is that question, but it's also that's the core of the protesters. They are actually literally out there throwing shit at cops, defending a dude who killed his pregnant wife.
Yeah. But they don't do that.
As if he shouldn't be extradited. And all the mainstream media that gets on this and talks about, oh my God, look at these protesters fighting for democracy and freedom from fucking China. At the core of what they are fucking arguing for is to defend a dude who killed his pregnant wife and stuffed her body in a fucking suitcase.
But I would say most of the protesters, they don't know that. And as this viewer has told me, he's noticed that the majority of the protesters are very, very young. They don't know anything. They're just out there protesting because it's all cool and hip, and they think they're fighting the big bad Chinese government. That's all they know. They don't know the details.
Yep.
They don't know.
And some of it, like I said, they kept it in the dark as well. Especially when we don't hear everything from certain sources. So that doesn't help either.
So it's a Bo's day in the sun.
Yeah, he's going to the vet tomorrow.
He's big.
Yeah?
He's big. He turned 6 months on the 11th.
All right.
Must have been all that eating cables and stuff that made him big.
He hasn't nibbled on a cable in well over a month now, and he's getting better with being house trained.
Okay.
He hasn't eaten any books for a while, about 2 months.
You could give him a copy of Ayn Rand's It Works.
That'd make him sick. His hair would fall out there.
What's he chewing on there? What is that?
What is what?
What is he chewing on? I can't see what.
The toys you sent him?
Oh. Yeah.
Kind of scratching his face while he's doing it. What are you doing? You're such a derp. look at me like that.
I know, I can see his eyes. He's like, what?
Man, call me a derp in front of all the people on the interweb? Won't you love to be Scott? So what else is going on today in the world? How'd you like those baits?
Yeah, that's messed up.
What, the debates?
Marianne Williamson is really out there. Like, what the heck?
All these people are like, she's awesome. She won the debate. She's a fucking freak. You know what she is? She's a self-help guru.
Oh God.
She is. No, seriously. Look at her website.
I'll be more focused on the G20 summit. I'll be more. So I'll be a bit out of the loop.
I'm gonna meet Trump and all his hate in a field with love. And I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? What does it mean she's gonna do in the field with Donald Trump?
If anything, she needs self-help by going to see a shrink.
You know, she has a way of talking, though. I was trying to figure out, she has this kind of lisp, and it's like she's got dentures that don't fit right or something. Did you notice that there's this way she talks? I don't know what it is.
It's called crazy.
Yeah, there's that.
She's just borderline. She's pathological. I mean, you can tell from her eyes. She's just fucking insane. She's bought into her own fucking bullshit for so fucking long. It's made her insane. People saying this crazy thing won the goddamn debate. She was wonderful. She was a great.
You know, she did actually make one comment that was very good and relevant and kind of different from the others. She was talking about U.S. foreign policy in Latin America. She mentioned that, yeah.
Right. She was the only one who did.
And she mentioned how we're being, basically, paraphrasing something about how we're being poisoned, you know, our food and every air and everything's being polluted and poisoned, and she was right about that. Yeah, okay.
She was this close to talking about fucking vaccines, but she knew.
Yeah.
She knows already. She can't mention vaccines and she'll be off the fucking stage next time.
But everybody knew. You're right. But everybody knew what she was saying.
Right. When she said, she goes, why aren't we talking about healthcare when we should be talking about what's making us sick in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. That's what she was
saying. Yeah.
It's like, well, Robert Kennedy Jr. has some fucking issues and has some opinions on that, which you might want to listen to.
Oh, definitely.
But his family was shunning him for those views, right? Most of the Kennedys.
Oh, yeah. That's probably because most of them are probably heavily invested in the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
So, Kamala Harris was the big winner, supposedly, or star.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think she was the darling of that evening. And even, I think the moderators were very deferential to her. That's my opinion. That's how I sense it.
Did you hear they turned off Andrew Yang's mic?
I heard that. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. I've heard, I hear things. I don't know. But I think that was to stop him from saying more stupid stuff, really, to embarrass himself.
Every time he talks, the first thing out of his mouth is, well, we give everybody $1,000 a month. Dickhead, isn't it against the law to buy votes? I mean, I'm just guessing, but isn't it against the law? Vote for me and you get $1,000 a month.
And also, he repeated that Russia interfered in our elections.
Oh, God.
God. I still call him the Zika baby. He is the Zika baby.
That's just mean.
Wow. Who said Anthony was nice?
So who you guys going to get for your next prime minister over there, Abdul?
I don't know. It's a toss-up between Jeremy Hunt and Boris Johnson, but I think Jeremy Hunt's going to be the prime minister. Although if we do have Boris Johnson, we'll be right close with you in terms of the having idiotic leaders.
Right. One thing would be for sure, though, if you guys get Boris Johnson, we'll both have leaders with fucked up hair.
Yeah. And both willfully stupid for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. We can sit and laugh and watch as Paris burns.
Yeah.
The whole world burns around us.
I'd happily sit by eating popcorn while watching that.
Watch it all go down the tubes.
Yep.
It's interesting since I'm recording on Skype, the recording is always different from what I see. So I'm having sound issues at this end, but I'm assuming the Skype recording will be okay.
I hope so.
I've got some echoes and things from you and from me when I'm talking. Yeah.
Well, that's probably somebody's speaker. Picking up somebody's speaker.
Like interference or anything like that, but I can't think of anything else.
No.
Have you guys paid attention to the G20 summit?
No.
Apparently Donald Trump has announced that US companies can continue trading with Huawei, although apparently there's still tensions between US and China with regards to the trade war and tariffs. So that's the latest on the trade war and the actual summit. And apparently Vladimir Putin said that liberalism is dead. Or obsolete, I should say. Excuse me.
Was he talking about neoliberalism or classic?
He just, I think he just mentioned liberalism in general. But, so that's what I've looked at so far.
I think he's referring to like the identity politics.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, but I wasn't so sure, but I think that's the case.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to it. The last I saw it, Tucker Carlson was over there, and then someone said he was actually seen in a group of people that were hanging out with Trump, so
yeah.
As if somehow he's like, Tucker Carlson is now advising Trump.
Well, I'll have to say I was happy to see Trump at least meet Kim at the DNC. I mean, it doesn't mean that anything's going to change, but it's nice to at least see that.
Yeah, that's what Donald Trump did do. So yeah.
You saw fucking you saw John Bolton in the background pouting, sucking his thumb, an evil look on his face. Trying to plot and plan some way to fuck it up. And the funny thing is, you see the mainstream media on the left is like demonizing Donald Trump for actually meeting with him and walking into fucking North Korea. Really? Really?
Oh boy.
Motherfucker's got a fucking outpost, a settlement in his name in Golan, right, called Trump Heights.
Yeah.
He's giving away everything to fucking Israelis. He's giving away the fucking West Bank. He's giving away Jerusalem. He's moved his fucking embassy into fucking occupied house in Jerusalem. And you want to complain that he's actually trying to make peace with fucking the leader of North Korea? Really? Come on, people.
Well, the thing that I like about those photo ops is it humanizes Kim.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have to humanize people. They're less likely to go to war with people if you humanize them.
Yeah. I don't think there's any chance because China wouldn't stand for it. I mean, it's like Iran. It's like people give Donald Trump credit for not pulling the fucking trigger on Iran. Bullshit. His fucking generals came to him and said, "Listen, I don't care what John Bolton and Bibi said. We can't do this. If we do this, you're gonna kill 100,000 of our goddamn troops, and we ain't doing this shit."
There's so many consequences. Not to mention the US are already having a bad reputation in the foreign policy department. All that does is going to demonize American civilians by proxy.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that really irritates me, to be honest. Especially when you see your own people being demonized before. And you don't want to see it happen to other people, regardless of what's happened politically with countries.
Yeah. So I mean, I give him credit for meeting with Kim and taking the step of walking into North Korea. He's copied that from the leader of South Korea.
Yes, he did.
Moon Jae-in.
A year ago, right? But that's good. It's a good step. no pun intended. But it's just
somebody commented that Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un waddled together in the DMZ. Because you're both big.
But you know, that plays right to them. They're going to be like, why is he turning his back on our fucking allies in Israel? Or why is he turning his back on our allies
I've heard that.
Great Britain? When in fact, and then he's just saddling up with these dictators like Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, I've heard that. Actually heard that. What are you siding with dictators for?
Yeah. My dog is crazy.
That's all news.
Why is he doing it? What's he doing?
He's lying on his back, half under the bed, half outside, looking up at me with his big eyes. And he's eating something. I think it's probably a cable. And, he's eating something, looking at me going, ah!
So how is he getting along with the cats now?
He's getting along better. You know, he's a sweet dog. He's a snuggle bunny. He likes to, you know, if I go to bed or something, he hops up in bed with me and lays down. Church wasn't like that. Church would be like, hi, he'd get up there and say hi to me, and then he'd hop down and go and do his own thing. But I'll tell you something. Nothing against this dog, but he's not the brightest puppy in the litter. I'll tell you that.
He's got the beauty, but not the brains.
Yeah. The beauty and the brainless. God.
Who's that guy? It's like Fabio. I should have called him Fabio.
Very funny. That's so funny.
And when that guy was on a roller coaster doing like 60 miles an hour and he got hit by a goose in the head? Remember that?
No.
Did you hear about that, Abdul?
I can't remember, to be honest.
On a roller coaster, some kind of thing. Because he's a celebrity, they brought him for the premiere, the first ride on this roller coaster. And they have all the press there, and he's riding the roller coaster in the front, and he gets hit right in the head with a fucking like 12-pound goose flying. Killed the goose, didn't even give him a headache. That's how big that fucker's neck is. You know? Like, oh Lord. He's got blood coming down from his head. That's it.
Damn.
It would have broke my fucking neck. Goose.
And broke your skull if you're not careful.
Yeah, he's not the brightest fucking up in the litter, but he's a sweetheart. Ain't that right, Bo? Come here, Bo.
Does your mom still like it? She was like
She likes him. I think she's scared because she's gotten a little older, and she wasn't around church when he was young. He was this age, so he'll walk, up to you and brush past you. She's 80 years old. She's mortally afraid of falling, and if she falls, she can't be taken care of here. She has to go to a rehab center. And once they get somebody on Social Security in a rehab center, they never let go of it.
yeah.
So that's a big fear for her. So I understand her concern around him. But he'll calm down and he'll be better about, walking past her and brushing into her.
Yeah.
Well, she never didn't like him. She just was scared of that. That's all.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Especially with old age and the consequences of deal with that kind of crap. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's like a fucking. Oh, you know what I saw? I did see they did a while ago. Apparently, 60 Minutes did a little clip into that Supermax in Colorado. You know where they send all the fake terrorists and they go in there and they're never seen again. It's the biggest Supermax. It's the only Supermax in the federal system.
Oh, really?
You can't even take pictures of the outside of it. They'll fucking arrest you for taking a picture on the outside of it. So they let 60 Minutes come in and take a shot from the outside of it. And they released a video that they said was processing on the inside, but I doubt it was processing that place. But I've never seen anything, a picture of that thing on the outside before, and that's all they showed.
Oh.
I don't know why I thought that was interesting, but I thought it was cool that they actually did that. But all of them are there who are supposedly, doing life sentences.
Hillary should be there.
I I don't think most of them. I think some, low-level dudes who are high-level, but I think most of them, the ones that are their assets, they go in the front door, they get a fucking facial reconstruction surgery, they get some paperwork on who their new name is and new identity is, and they go out the back door. That's why it's there. And like Mr. Assange is doing his time now, be my guess.
Will you be walking around like a free man in court?
Yeah. So what do you think about Assange, Abdul? That's taking place over there. What are the England people saying about that shit?
Obviously, they haven't said much, but some people are still thinking he's legit and that we'll have to defend him. But other than that, there's not much being said about him. Though some obviously do think that he's an asset, he can't be trusted. But I've not seen much in regards to Julian Assange. This is what people think over the UK. But I think Neil Clark was talking about Julian Assange quite recently, and he's treating it like as if it's a legit matter. So no surprises there.
I have to ask. This is obviously a different location for you, Abdul. So I'm paying attention. I'm noticing now for the first time the pattern on the wall. It almost looks like you're in a big crib, and those are the fucking rails on the crib. Did you paint those yourself?
No. No. I'm actually using someone else's room inside my house. I'm actually using someone else's room inside my house so I don't get disturbed. So that's
what is that pattern supposed to be? Is that like a crib? What's that? The side rails of a crib?
Yeah, it looks like flowery patterns, and you got ironing board and some gym equipment and stuff like that.
What's with the gym equipment?
That's wainscoting.
Pardon?
Wainscoting. I think that's the term. You know how
that's not wainscoting. I know what wainscoting is. There was a carpenter. There was an interior mill worker. Okay. It looks like somebody painted. Let me ask you a question. Did that used to be a nursery? That room?
No.
No?
Nope. Just it's been a bedroom. It's just a pattern full of flowers, and that's it really. Weird flowers and
inside the crib.
Yeah.
There's a big baby inside a crib.
Nah, but it's just been a bedroom for all this times really. But yeah, the wall paint pattern is a bit weird, especially at first glance. But it's just flowers and plants, weird columns. That's the only way I can describe it.
So what else is going on these days?
A few weeks ago, there's Sudan and overthrowing Omar Bashir. They wanted him out because apparently of mismanagement of resources and hyperinflation and all that. But what I've noticed with regards to him is the fact that he was against normalising Israeli ties. Against the normalisation.
It's not just that.
Well, there's more, but
Bashir is. That's why Trump and the Bush administration created something called South Sudan.
Yes, I remember that.
Bashir eons ago, but they weren't able to do it because he wasn't playing along with the IMF and taking out loans like he was supposed to. So they wanted to regime change, and they tried to do a color revolution. It failed. So they still busted off the bottom portion of the
and that handicapped Sudan a lot
more. They gave it to that crazy fucking guy who wears the black cowboy hat.
Yeah, I remember that one. I can't remember his name, but I remember the exact situation.
Right.
And that South Sudan was, in fact, a U.S. creation.
Right.
Or a U.S. funded creation, but yeah.
South Sudan was a U.S. creation. And then remember George Clooney got involved with that, and he had that business flying surveillance things overhead, also trying to help get rid of Bashir and Sudan.
That was the Darfur, right, or something.
Right. So then there was that whole fucking thing going on. So when I see them talking about what's going on in Sudan, like you said, typically when they end up doing a color revolution, they always blame the people for corruption. What did they use to get rid of the Dilma in Brazil? Some bullshit thing of corruption. That's what they always fucking use. So I'm very skeptical of what's going on in Sudan. I haven't covered it yet, but I intend to.
There's the hashtag
and it's on the list. It's on Wesley Clark's list that he.
Yeah, Barbara did point that out. I was like, oh shit, yeah. Yeah, she was right. And on top of that, you also had the hashtag going on Beautiful Sudan, because apparently one of the victims of the actual Sudan operation, that was his favourite colour apparently. But I was immediately sceptical. I thought to myself, colour revolution straight away. Yeah. So that was that, and Haiti's still fucked up as all. Haiti
and it's kicking off in fucking Honduras as well.
Yeah. It was just
the 10-year anniversary of the coup against Zelaya. Is that his name?
Zelaya?
Yeah, I think that's.
It's the 10-year anniversary?
Yeah.
That's right. That was Hillary, wasn't it? That was Hillary and Obama.
Yeah.
Hey, but don't worry about it, because Blowback Blumenthal is down there covering everything. Making sure his face is in the fucking frame.
His fucking ugly face always in those videos. I refuse to retweet those things, because what the heck is wrong with,
Blowback Blumenthal.
Face is right at the camera every time.
Even if he's trying to show you something, what he'll do is if something's going on there, instead of taking his camera and filming it, he goes like this.
I know he's got his face is right to the fucking camera. God.
Speaking of laughable, I think we should create a political bingo game. Blowback being one of the catchphrases, followed by anti-Semite or Nazi. So we need to create a bingo board.
A bingo board with all the catchphrases. Antifa is one of them.
Yeah, political cliches.
Political cliche bingo.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, fucking Haiti.
Max Blumenthal that he's fucking ugly.
Haiti is. We need to cover more on Haiti.
Yeah.
At least I know I do, because I haven't done anything on fucking Haiti.
I
covered all that shit when he was fucking stealing their goddamn billions of dollars.
Yeah, and
was giving it to him.
But
I haven't done shit, huh?
Oxfam.
People talk about the poverty of Latin America, but they're ignoring in the Caribbean, Haiti. In the whole Western Hemisphere, Haiti is the poorest country.
Right.
And one of the poorest in the world. Yeah, it's in the top.
And during the Haiti earthquake, Oxfam apparently was guilty of sexual charges. And recently in the UK, the Oxfam was called out for it. And they actually bloody apologized for it.
Some with the blue helmets. Some with the peacekeepers.
Yeah.
There were even questions about not just that, but also, wasn't there someone connected with the Clintons who had some kind of small charity was doing the same shit?
What's her name? Yeah.
Yeah, she was taking kids out who had parents and weren't trying to find them, putting them on fucking planes, shipping them back up here so they could be fucking,
Laura Silsby or something? Was it Silsby or something like that? I think
it was something like that, yeah.
Silsby, I think that's her name. I forgot, yeah. But, Haiti is just sort of the classic case of here these slaves rose up and overthrew other oppressors, and they've just been punished ever since for doing that.
Yeah.
You got that debt load that they had to deal with from France. France demanded reparations for their revolution. Yeah.
They wanted their slaves to pay them back.
Yeah, they did. The French government did that.
What's the basis for you saying we owe you money? Well, when you were my slave, you made me X amount of dollars per day. And when you stopped being my slave, I didn't make that money, so I need that money paid back to me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that disgusting that they did that?
Yeah. And also, Venezuela apparently had an arrangement with the Caribbean countries, one of which was Haiti, with regards to oil, for oil repayment agreement called the Petro-Caribbean program, or something like that.
Right.
And apparently, with those incremental repayments, Haiti was about to manage to save some money for redevelopment projects. But apparently, that was spent on other nefarious projects and stuff like that. So that's literally handicapped to Venezuela. And it points back to the Haitian government.
Yeah, any aid that's ever sent to Haiti just gets stolen.
Yeah, exactly, stolen. That was it.
Every time.
Yeah. And the Haitians are pissed off and sick about it. So
naturally so.
Very few people are fucking covering it. There's Haiti Info Project.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Watch this video on Twitter. You can follow them. They've got a lot of information about that. I follow. But I'm definitely going to do a video on this. Something's going on with my dog, so I think I have to go. Barking and yelling at something in the living room, so I got to go. It's nice talking to you guys again.
Same to you too.
We should do this more often.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you said, and we were supposed to do it last weekend, but you had I forget there was something.
His neck was messed up.
Oh yeah, your neck. Oh, that was
How's that? Has it healed properly?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, they drained it. They did that, and I gotta go back on the 5th, the day after July the 4th.
Yeah, Independence Day.
Probably hungover, and they're gonna cut me open again.
God.
Because they like doing that to me, I guess. I don't know why. It was so disorganized, man. They were running in, talking to me, sign this. Somebody else comes back in, okay, you gotta sign this. And then the guy comes in and drops off some needles and shit and says, "We'll be right back." And then he goes over and somebody else comes back and goes, "Oh, the needle's in here?" "Yeah, okay, that's great." And they're gone. And the guy comes rushing as fast as he can, grabs a scalpel. So I was hacking at my fucking neck.
Oh,
damn, man. Really?
Damn.
Why don't you just put me on a conveyor belt and just move me down fucking like a slab of beef, you know? But anyway, I got this. What's going on?
Yeah. Okay.
Disappeared for a while, so let's do this again next week.
Yeah.
Next week, Sunday. Whatever's best for you, Scott.
Sunday better for you or Saturday?
I don't care. Preferably Sunday. I don't mind either way. So.
Sunday's good.
Sunday's fine. Yeah, Sunday's fine.
Yeah.
Same time?
Yeah, same time, same place. Well, not the same place exactly for me, but you get the idea.
You're gonna get out of the crib?
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna get out of this room in a bit. So.
MTV Cribs with Abdul Hussein.
That ain't happening yet.
You guys take care. Nice talking to you.
You too.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Okay, I'm stopping the recording now. Let's see. Yeah.
I can see you still recording, BB. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Abdul. Okay.
It's nice to talk to you, BB. Bye.